There's probably no greater conflict in life than being a LeBron James fan and being a Toronto Raptors fan. It's a very difficult mix to balance, I will say. So last year in the playoffs of 2018, when LeBron James faced the Toronto Raptors, I was excited yet conflicted. So I bought my first ever Raptors playoff tickets because I'm like, this is one of the last times I could see LeBron James in his prime. And although he crushed my favorite basketball team of the Toronto Raptors, watching him play in his prime was a magical thing. Every play was meticulous. Every drive was luscious. Every shot was voluptuous. I don't even know what I'm describing at this point, but just know he played ridiculously amazing. And there's something so great about being able to catch him before LeBron James was traded to LA. Seeing a player or seeing a person at their peak of greatness is magical, and that's why we need to start paying a better attention to Drake. Not ever in the history of rap has there been such a dominant reign for the last 10 years. And regardless of who you think their best rapper is or who you put in their top 50 rap list, you have to give it up to Drake because he has revolutionized what it means to be a modern rapper in this day. And to emphasize how crazy and how ridiculous his 10-year run-in is, I'm gonna name three rappers who actually had a good chance of being a better artist than Drake. And each of these rappers, and the reason why they're not considered better than him today, is exactly a reflection of how ridiculous it is that Drake was able to miss all of this and still be remained by being the best rapper. So stay to the end and see if you agree with me or if you think I'm full of rubbish. Hi, this is Fly Stewie. You're listening to the Uneducated Investor Podcast. Feel free to say hi, feel free to say hello, and give me a comment. Let me know who your top 3 rappers are of all time. With this top 50 greatest rapper list, I think this is a great time to talk about rap and rap music. And of course, give this a like, give this video a comment. And this whole series, the Uneducated Investor Podcast, is all about connecting pop culture to business. So Flight Crew, let's get better at investing together. As I said before, there are 3 different artists who really had a chance to be better than Drake, and each of these artists exemplify a reason why Drake has just been so dominant and how ridiculous and impossible it is for him to stay this dominant. Now, the first artist that really has a chance to be better than Drake is Justin Bieber. Now, this Ontario, Canada resident is an absolute phenomenon from the age of 13, 14, whenever he came up on the scene. He has been ridiculous when it comes to his studio sales, and I bet right now if he wanted to go on tour, a worldwide tour, he could easily generate some Ed Sheeran numbers and probably make around $1 billion in revenue. Like realistically, he is that sought after in demand. But one thing that really highlights Justin Bieber is the passion and consistency. This is Justin Bieber's fatal flaw. You see, to be an artist, to be successful in the game, you have to be ridiculously consistent over a long period of time. It is hard to stay that passionate when you start being successful because you get so much money and you deal with such a high amount of, quite frankly, shady people. The music business is very cutthroat, and this is what makes Drake so good. For the 10 years, he was able to dodge all the shady deals from Young Money, dodge all the shady venues trying to rip him off of money, and somehow be able to be bulletproof when it comes to media and skip all that BS and just focus on making music for 10 years. It is ridiculously hard in that lifestyle full of alcohol and drugs to stay on top and stay consistent and be positive and still have passion for the music, and that's why that Drake is on top. The second artist who really had a chance to be better than Drake, of course, this one's a long shot for some people, but if you really were a fan, you'd understand it is XXXtentacion. Now, what makes an artist so good and rise to the top is his ability to create something old, a trend that was old, and infuse it with something that is new. Now, what makes an artist number one is his ability to transcend the genre from where it once was. This is what Drake has done very, very well. He was the one that perfected Kid Cudi's style, perfected those 808 drums, and really understood how to be vulnerable in rap, which was never heard of before, and finally merge hip hop with pop music in a way that was so beautifully done that no one's ever done. XXX was that artist that was able to do that same thing. He was so great at taking traditional rock, punk rock music, metal bands, all these different genres, and putting it down with rap and infusing new genres to take the whole genre somewhere else. You see, to be a rapper, to really stand out number one, you cannot just take the status quo of rap, take the trap rock status quo, basically come out with cookie cutter renditions of what's already popular. You have to transcend the genre, turn it to something new, show people something that they have never seen. And XXX was so good at really combining what used to be popular, combining different genres, the great things in different things, and really making it his own and coming out with a whole new blend of style. And this is what created such a cult following for XXX. You see, he tragically died, and some would make this very similar to what happened to Tupac. You see, XXX was able to connect to his fans in a way that people just haven't seen from an artist since maybe Kid Cudi. And X had the musical talent to actually go out there and create music that his fans would feel. However, this brings us to another tragic reason why some artists fail and some artists succeed, like Drake. That tragic reason has to be, and me being an X fan, this hurts, but when you're that real and you're that vulnerable and you're that authentic, all of a sudden it paints this target on your back that makes you susceptible to fall. So it's hard for someone like X to be successful long term because he's so real. He sees the best in people and he really wants humanity to be a good place, although he does have his dark past, and of course you've heard of his court cases, but he really wanted humanity to be a better place. So of course, when he's in his hometown of Florida and all of that bad things happened to him, he didn't have security around him because realistically he expected the best from humanity. And those are another reason, another pitfall that rappers and artists run into, because it only really takes one moment, it only takes one slip up, it only takes one misjudgment, and that could be not only the end of your career but the end of your life. And this is tragically a phenomenon that happens in rap. And the third artist that really had a great chance of being better than Drake, and this one's another one that's kind of sad when you really think about it, is of course I have to be talking about Chris Brown. Chris Brown was literally, I would say, considered the next Michael Jackson at one point in time. He came in the game at the age of 15, 16, signed and got big thumbs up from a lot of different artists. And you've never seen an artist being able to dance as good as his backup dancers and also sing as good as the best of them. And not to mention, he was a bae magnet, and probably a dude magnet, and probably a dog magnet. I mean, everybody loved Chris Brown. I honestly would say he single-handedly brought the light skin movement to the forefront. I would say that was his effect in culture. Maybe I'm just talking about my booty, but I think that was Chris Brown. And every song he touched was a hit after hit after hit after hit. There is nothing you could do if Chris Brown was on your bridge or on your hook. That song was automatically going to be a #1 song. So of course this points out the third reason why Drake is really on top, and that of course is controversy. You see, it is so easy to be a controversial rapper or artist because you're around the drugs, you're around the alcohol, you're around the limelight. So one misstep you make is going to be with you for the rest of your career. And Chris Brown is unfortunately a living tale of what happens. When he hit Rihanna and they saw the media pictures of her face, now Rihanna was a media darling, to see our queen, our Nubian princess, being hit like that and her face destroyed, it literally tarnished Chris Brown's reputation and his career forever. He wasn't so advertiser friendly, he wasn't so marketable anymore, and it really destroyed his ceiling. He couldn't even really travel because of course when stuff like that happened, you go on parole, you can't travel, it hurts you at the borders, and that's what really hampered Chris Brown's ability to become as big as he was. So do you agree with me? Do you think that these three artists really had a chance to become bigger than Chris Brown? Did Justin Bieber be bigger? Of course, XXX. And was Chris Brown have potential to be a bigger artist than Drake? Let me know if you agree with me that these three artists should have been bigger than Drake, or let me know who do you think is the best rapper artist out right now if it is not Drake. And of course, let me know your greatest of all time. I want to see all that stuff. If you made it this far, of course, give the video a like. Just hit that like button. I would appreciate it. It really helps out the algorithm and it really helps this channel go out there. And that top 50 list was ridiculous, so I thought I would put a different spin on it. I mean, Joe Budden, if you've seen the top 50 list, they said Joe Budden was the third best rapper of all time. Clearly, Joe Budden probably wrote that list, let's be honest. And of course, if you made it to the end of the video, the best, most brightest investors are the uneducated ones. Why is that? That's because the uneducated investors, they never stop learning. Thank you, Flight Crew, for listening. Feel free to watch any of my videos to help, build that investing knowledge. And of course, Flight Crew, we off.